Street.
It's time, baby. It is time for us to be an hour late. So we are on a new time, but not the new time. It's the old time, but the new time. Does that make sense? No, but neither does Kansas City making a Super Bowl, because that doesn't make sense either. Boom, there you go. All right, here we are, 10 o'clock. Sorry, we're an hour late. We're a little behind schedule tonight, but we normally are here by 9 o'clock. But it is time, Jay, this kind of time for the Broad Street Mizzy here, and we are the Fly Eagles Fly podcast. I'm Corey Alexander, along with
Jay Bliss.
We are here to give all of you guys insight, breaking down the game, breaking down next week's game, giving you some insights, trivia, prizes, all for you folks, and we're doing it all night long. All right, so let's get to it, Jay. Let's get to the game review of the Eagles-Chiefs. It's another win for the Eagles. This wasn't quite the beatdown that we would have liked to have seen, but it's weird that we both were kind of leaning towards a loss.
Yeah.
But then we kind of wanted to win. And now we're like, well, if we just have to go win every game, we have to go win every game. That's just what I have to do.
Yeah, so like we talked about it last week. Like, if you're going to lose a game, lose on the road against the other conference.
Right.
Like, if you're going to lose a game, lose to the Chiefs.
Right.
If you lose a game, lose to the Bills. Like, lose that game. Don't lose any NFC games. Like, don't lose this week. You know what I mean? So I went in with the mindset of, regardless of the fact that they were down players, they got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. So I thought, which was true, they were just going to bring the kitchen sink all game. They did on the first play.
Yep.
Right? They brought everybody, right? And they've done it a couple times, but for some reason, their offense wasn't doing anything. And we took advantage of it.
We did. Here's got some stuff about the game. Well, by the way, first, just so you know, just to get a little Phillies in there, this is the first time in Phillies history they have been the first team to clinch a division in a season. That's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing. And I just figured out that they were only a game and a half behind Milwaukee now.
Oh, which is nuts. This is also nuts. Yeah, got to give some Philly love out there, because we are Eagles, but you got to give some love to the Phillies. They're doing great. Yeah. All right. Eagles, by the way, are, get this, over the last 19 games, including playoffs, they are 18-1, my man.
Yeah.
18-1. That is, of course, the best stretch of 19 games in franchise history. We've never seen anything like this.
Do you have the stats of the turnovers within that time frame?
I got stuff. Don't worry, man. I got stuff.
It's crazy.
It is. The Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, falling Sunday to the Eagles, which is also good. Only one other team has beaten Mahomes 3 straight times, and that was the Bengals, and that was Joe Burrow. So Jalen Hurts is in some seriously good company.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by the way, speaking of Mr. Jalen Hurts, your favorite, QB winning percentage since 1970, the NFL merger. The top quarterbacks of all time and their percentage winning history, it's Patrick Mahomes, then Tom Brady, which I wouldn't have gotten that right. Roger Staubach, totally forgot about him. Lamar Jackson, which is not really a surprise, but you forget about how good that guy is. Joe Montana, of course. Coming behind Joe Montana and before Peyton Manning, that would be Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
At 706. Jalen Hurts right now has a better winning percentage than Peyton Manning.
Yeah, because Peyton had a horrible rookie season.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, but by the way, he did come to the vet in 99, and I did see him beat us, which was also devastating because we sucked, but they sucked, and we sucked worse.
Right.
By the way, Hurts is the first quarterback in 15 seasons, started season 2-0 without throwing a touchdown pass. They have, so you want your turnover. So here we go. They have won the turnover battle in 9 straight games, which is 4 short of the NFL record. The Eagles are 36-2 under Nick Sirianni when winning the turnover battle.
Yeah.
There's your turnover statistics. I knew you wanted them.
Yep.
So, and by the way, you said they brought the house.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, ready for this? The Chiefs blitzed Jalen Hurts on 16 of his 25 dropbacks. That's 64% blitz rate.
Yeah.
Unheard of, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything above like a 40, maybe 45.
And then people want to say like, oh, Jalen, the offense is like, dude, they're blitzing every time he drops back. what do you really want him to do? You know what I mean? And the funny thing about it is when the ones you sitting there, he like, oh man, he's sitting back in the pocket, there's nothing there. Well, the route concepts that would have worked, they ran them during the blitz play. And then the concepts that don't work, they ran because they thought he was going to blitz and he was going to be able to run out of the pocket, and that didn't work. So it's just off. You know what I mean?
It is off. We'll get on offense and defense a little bit. By the way, just so you know, today Vic Fangio said that DT Jalen Carter not really in shape yet, which I didn't realize, but that kind of makes sense without the first game. So I guess he's still getting his feet wet, but he's got to get better. He said, but he said he had a couple of major, saying Jalen Carter's a little out of shape, so he's not one to hold back. And by the way, just so you know, last week about Makuba, you know what he said?
Mm-hmm.
He said he did okay, not great, but okay. He had a couple of major busts that hurt us and could have hurt us even more. So we're looking for him to improve next week. And guess what? Makuba did. Even though we'll get into more stuff about him, he wasn't perfect. There was a couple of things he didn't do, but that's good. Elliott is now 3 for 3 on field goal tries of 50-plus yards this season. Incredible. By the way, he was 1 for 7 from 50-plus yards last year.
Yeah.
So that's quite a turnaround for him. Zadarius Smith, we'll talk about him. What an entrance. Here's before we get into the games a little bit too much, but here's the thing that we got to talk about before we get deep into the game. But AJ's routes. I was looking at I believe it was Dan Orlovsky that broke this down. AJ Brown's routes were all 5 yards and turn in either left or right. I don't know if you saw this, but I would probably say they said something like 60% of his routes were 5 or 6 yards and then turning in. That is not good. Right. That is running the same routes, and they know it. And this reminded me a little bit why Brian Johnson got fired, because remember throughout the year, the defense was calling out the routes and the offense before Hurts even ran it. Do you remember that?
Right.
And people were saying that.
Right.
So I'm holding out hope that Patullo is just slowly easing his. As you and I talked about, this is an evolving process, right? It's not a finished product by any means. But what do you think about seeing some of these route concepts being very, very vanilla so early on?
He's getting a lot of criticism, which he should. Like, Eagles fans aren't stupid. Like, we look at football. Like, we're not gonna sit there and go, oh no, he'll figure it. Nah, man, who's getting blamed for this? It's not AJ,
right?
It's not Jalen. We're not blaming the players for this. Who's the new guy on the block? It's you. You have the position. We wouldn't be having this situation with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore would be getting criticized if he started the season out like that. He was getting criticized when we were 2-2. He got criticized in the very beginning of last season.
True.
But what I'm saying is, the only reason it's not as loud as it normally would be is because we are 2-0. But you let us lose to the Rams. And then they're going to be like, look, man, I already saw the memes today. Somebody put Mike McDaniels in an Eagles shirt with a headset on. Like, he going to get fired from the Dolphins while we bring him in as offensive coordinator. And I'm like, why? That dude can't even get Tyreek Hill a ball. Like, why would we bring him here? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like one of those things. Like, Kevin's going to have to earn his keep. He's better come up with something.
Yeah, I got you. There was certain times when I was looking at also at the breakdown of the film, they said there was times that Hurts could probably have thrown it to AJ, but the Chiefs, also got him off his first read a lot. I think they knew what his first read was going to be, and they still had a safety help over the top. So although it looked like Smith, got him to turn his hips a little bit at the break, but there's a lot of times where even that, Smith or the tight end was coming off the break, but it just didn't have that time because there was safety help coming down.
Right.
I guess it looks, they said Jahan Dotson was the number 2 receiver at a couple of times at the bottom, and he should have been separating when Hurts moved off as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chiefs had him covered in man, apparently. So they kind of zoned it sometimes, and then they did man up on Dotson.
Right.
And he said normally that route could be made more intermediate and over the middle, but doesn't have to be. But you'd like to have at least an intermediate number 3 underneath Hurts in his line of vision, but that wasn't the case. So Hurts had all sorts of time and no obvious options after 1 and 2. So Calcaterra staying into chip. Barkley had to block to set up the shot. It all makes sense, I guess, for certain things that went the wrong way.
Yeah.
But Calcaterra as the number 3 could have kept going into a void over the middle. I don't know. Like, was there a chance you saw that anything could have been over the middle? Like a quick in?
Right.
As opposed to something on the outside? Did you see any of that? Because I didn't see a lot even really open in the middle either.
No, I mean, you got to realize, like, so they were either blitzing, they didn't have enough time, or they were rushing 4 and dropping 7. They were playing a zone. They had a 2 deep shell. That's what Spagnuolo does. It's like, yeah, man, you either going to have to get your window or you're not. They didn't have a lot of one-on-one coverage. They obviously do one-on-one coverage when they're on like 3rd and long, 4th and 1, or something like that. But that's where all the blitzes were coming from.
Yeah,
like,
and they
one read, and like the one big play they had was the Smitty was a blitz.
Zero blitz.
Yeah,
it was a zero blitz.
Yep, and he got it up. He got it up and got it out of there in time.
And there was 2 plays I saw. The one where you and I talked about is where Steen got pushed back and his arm got hit. If his arm doesn't get hit and he falls a throw pass, that's a touchdown. There was another one early on where Calcaterra missed the chip. And it was like the first or second play, and he fumbled it. But if you see AJ Brown,
that was Granson. You can't put that on Calcaterra.
Okay, Granson.
That was Granson.
AJ Brown broke between the 2, and he had his hand up, and he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown.
That was another touchdown too. So
yeah,
it's some blocking issues too. It's not all on Hurts. It's not on the receivers. That there's some blocking issues too. So
right. Like I said, it says on the ring.
And by the way, of the 40 QBs that have dropped back to pass this season, Jalen Hurts is the only one to not attempt to pass between 10 and 19 yards.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, just like it says on the ring, you can't be great without the greatness of others. Like, they got everybody chip in. Everybody's got to do their part, man.
All right, we're going to get this early on because we're going to go through the game and a lot of evaluation of individual players. We're going to do more this time, too. So let's get to our 4 points right off the bat. Let's get this started and get into the middle of the game. Let's start with your first 4 point.
My first 4 point really was that the defense played very stout.
I agree with you, especially the second half D again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but here's another thing for you for our stuff. So Vic Fangio is unbelievable making adjustments. When you can hold this quarterback in general, by the way, and this coach to 17 points and less than 300 yards, that's a hell of a day.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, another thing for the defense, second half, Mahomes had 60 yards rushing and a touchdown on the first 5 carries in the first half, killing the Eagles with his legs. In the second half, you ready?
Yep.
2 carries, 6 yards.
Yep.
Amazing adjustments.
Yep.
Mahomes only completed 16 of 29 passes, 187 yards, and a pedestrian 72 pass rating, one of his lowest in his career.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Eagles also have given up just 7 points in the second half in 2 wins. They are allowing the second lowest opponent's passer rating in the NFL. And the Eagles rank 5th in opponent's yards per pass attempt, and they are 6th in completion and potential. So they're just doing a phenomenal job. So I agree. That was my first point of that one. So give me your second 4 point.
Kevin Butula has to do better.
Oh, I love it. That's my number 4. So we'll eliminate my number 4, but that's the same thing. The route concepts got to be better.
You got too many weapons out there in order for like I'm not saying Jalen has to throw for 250 yards a game, but he threw for 101 and they still won the game. But like, these guys are out there, like, use them. You know what I'm saying? I see you try to get the ball to AJ early, but what happened with the rest of the game?
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, I know the slant route is like a bread and butter, man, but you gotta test that defense. You gotta test it. And on a second and 2 or 2nd and 1, you should be going down the field.
Why? Why not? You got 2 chances to make that. 3rd and 4th down. You're going to do tush push. So why?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. So that was my number 4. So let's get to number 3 for you.
Yeah. The O-line concern, especially with running the ball. So they did a breakdown of the Saquon touchdown, right? And yeah, that concept worked. They had a real tight alley for him to get through the lane and get through the end zone untouched. But it seems like it's a lot more congestion than it was last year. Like, those holes was just open last year. I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's a continuity thing or if it's just a cohesiveness with the line,
right?
And maybe Steen and the other parts they're not fitting in the way they did last year. But they're gonna have to figure this out, because anytime they give the ball to Saquon, I just don't see the ability of him to being able to just break one out and get to that second level and make something happen. Now, don't get me wrong. Last year we played the Rams. That's all he did.
Right.
Both times they played him, he got 2 breakout runs on each game. So maybe that's the game that's going to wake it up. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see.
You were hinting at this last week, and I was like, I don't know, but you might be right. I think they might miss Becton more than they realize.
Yeah.
Because Steen had another up and down game. He actually had a nice kick out block to get Barkley in the end zone. I don't know if you saw that. Like, it was pretty much Steen who got him out there. But I don't know. You're right. I just feel like that cohesive nature they had last year is just not there. For some reason, it seems like they're all individuals instead of working together. And Stout's not going to have that.
Right.
So I agree with you on that. So my second one, this is your third one. I go back to my second one. No turnovers, though. So on a positive note, no turnovers yet by the Eagles. That's huge. I think had they had any turnovers in that game, they would have lost.
Yeah.
So would I like to have seen 200, 300 yards passing? Absolutely. Would I rather see them win and have no turnovers and 101 yards passing? Absolutely.
Right.
So I think that's really key. All right, give me your last one, and I'll give you my last one.
Zadarius Smith.
Woo! Love it.
Yeah, man. That's a steal, man. I mean, he instant impact. I mean, instantly making plays. I mean, Makuba comes in and goes for a blitz, and he meets him at the damn quarterback.
I also thought with Zadarius, it wasn't even just the fact that he was getting some pressure, but the fact that they had to pay so much attention to him.
Right.
I saw Jalex Hunt and Nolan Smith getting a little push on the other side just because of what he was doing.
Right. Yeah.
My last 4-point was, I think, Hurts' decisions. Again, it's not going to break the bank with his statistics, but his decision-making over the first 2 games has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
He had the zero blitz come at him. He stayed there. He planted his foot and he threw into that blitz.
Yeah.
So he knew the guy was going to be there and just said, all right, I'm trusting my receivers, which I wish he would do a little bit more often in other situations. But that to me was one of the best decisions he made all game.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our game ball. Who you got?
Andrew Makuba. Drew Makuba, man.
Me too. I mean, he definitely had some issues, which we'll talk about in a minute, but if that wasn't a game turner, I don't know what was. I mean, that's as good as a game turner as you're going to get in the NFL.
Yep.
I like it. All right, who's your drama queen for this week?
Hudson from the Giants. I mean, 4 penalties on the first drive. And that one where he smacked that dude in the back of the head, I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
He saw what they did last week with the Dallas and the Eagles. I guess he thought he could do the same thing. Like, no, you saw he got a fine. He didn't get a penalty, which he should have, but he got a fine.
That's crazy, dude. I mean, I respect Brian Daboll just be like, hey, man, hey, you, come over here and sit your ass down. Like, and he was hot. I'm like, yeah, dude, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. Because we're going to look at the tape. And every time we show the tape, they're going to be sitting in the film room like this. You see Exhibit A. That's what they're going to be doing. This dude right here. Look at him. This is why we lost the game right here.
All right, for all you know, that is the Giants left tackle who committed 4 penalties in a row. And it was ugly. And then on the sideline, he started getting mouthy on the Giants sideline during the Giants-Cowboys game, and it just got ugly. I can't believe the Giants still played as well they did. By the way, we're going to get to this too, but might as well say it now. Do you know who has the best passing offense in the NFL?
Right now, it's between the Colts and the Giants, right?
Giants are number 1.
Yeah.
Are number freaking
also
1.
Also, no slouch either, though.
I know.
The old.
By the way, if you ever want to revive your career, make sure you leave the Giants for any other team other than the Giants.
Yeah.
And that goes for so you're asking why? Because obviously Barkley last year and this year, Daniel Jones looks like he's a NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. He looks unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm not. Of course, you got Shane Steichen in them too.
I'm not worried about the Giants having the number 1 ranked passing offense right now. They haven't played the Eagles defense yet.
Right, they haven't really played anybody yet.
Right,
Dallas doesn't have a good secondary at all, so don't worry about that. I had my drama queen as Jerry Jones, who came out this week saying he doubled down after watching. They asked him about watching Micah Parsons in Green Bay, and he doubled down by saying, "Yeah, this is going to be even better for us now."
Yeah.
It's just a guy who cannot admit making a mistake. And
that game is going to be insane. I think Micah hurts Dak and gets him out of the game.
You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right. I mean, I think that's how much venom he has now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Let's do overall grades, and then we'll get into specific grades for each of the players here. So grades, give me your offense, defense, special teams, coaching.
Offense, I got a C.
Okay.
Defense, I have a B. Special teams, I have an A. And coaching, I have a C.
Oh, wow. So give me the C, reason for C for coaching.
Because I feel like the offense could have been way better.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the defense is what held us. So there's your A right there. But if I have to say offensive coaching, D. So the average would be a C.
Okay. I had offense as a B minus, slightly above a C, but a B minus, only because I thought they did, of course, enough they needed to do to get that win. The defense, I gave them a B plus, only because, again, when you hold Mahomes and company to less than 300 yards, that's just a victory. I'm sorry. That's just pretty damn good. And 17 points, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Special teams, I gave an A minus because I thought their coverage was good. The punting was good. The field goals was good. Overall, the special teams was real tight. Coaching, I gave a B plus just because I thought they managed the game pretty good. Other than the offense, I think that's going to come along, but I just think the defense overshadowed so much that I lean towards a B plus because the defense just played so well.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into specific grades, Hurts, just so everybody knows, so we'll go through some of the statistics. He was 15 of 22, 101 yards, 9 rushing attempts for 15 yards. Not really great, but he got there when he needed to. He had 1 toe down. He completed 68% of his passes, didn't turn the ball over. I think you got to look at those positives. Again, he got the Devontae Smith on a 0 blitz.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good stuff today. And again, that's just pretty tough when you're going a 64% blitz rate.
Right.
Barkley was 22 for 88 yards, 1 TD. Didn't really break a long one in this one. His longest run was 13-yard touchdown. So that was his longest run of the day, which is kind of weird that he hasn't really broken one even for like a 20-yarder or something like that.
Yeah.
All year. So he grinded the thing. I thought he did pretty good. A.J. Dillon had 3 carries for 19 yards. Was okay. He's carrying 6 yards a carry. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So an overall B plus with that one. Obviously, the wide receivers, 4 catches for on 6 targets, 53 yards for Devontae Smith. That was the biggest one of the day. But again, you're talking about A.J. Brown. He had 8 targets, by the way, but just 5 catches for 27 yards.
Yeah.
And so many of them came on slants. Here's the thing. John Mechie had more snaps than Dotson. They said the reason why, or at least they speculated why, not that the Eagles admitted it, but he's a better blocker than Dotson.
Okay.
So I guess apparently they're running out of concepts with blocking, and then Dotson's not a good blocker.
It doesn't matter if Saquon can't get to the second level.
Correct.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I agree. So kind of a B minus there to C. And then tight ends, Grant Calcaterra had 1 catch on 2 targets for 6 yards. Granson had 1 catch for 5 yards. Latu came in, had a nice block. He had 1 block where he obliterated a guy that got Barkley down to the 1-yard line for the tush push. But that was pretty awesome. I don't know if you saw that, but you've watched it. Latu just absolutely wreck. YouTube it. He absolutely wrecks this guy. It was unbelievable. But that was about it for these guys. Basically, one of those guys was, I think you said it was what's his face? It was Granson who got toasted off the edge, which led to the fumble.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But O-line, I think you're right. It's just, it wasn't their best game again.
Mm-hmm.
They ran their signature play 6 times, converted in 4 of them, but it's, Dickerson played most of the game, and it was good that he played all game, and Tyler Steen had the 1 block, but Steen also had some key blocks in the running game, but he was the one that got pushed back into his arm, and it just, Lane was great, and I think Mailata was pretty good. It's just, I don't know. I mean, there was some Dickerson did have the 1 penalty. I think there was a holding penalty against Juergens.
Yep.
So there was a couple of things that this offensive line's got to clean up before we get into the season.
Yep.
They got 2
great defensive ends this weekend.
Yes. Oh, they do. Oh, yes. With Young and Verse.
Yep.
Which we'll get to that in our preview, by the way. It's coming up here. Zadarius Smith, 4 tackles, half a sack. We talked about how great he was all game. Jordan Davis continued to play outstanding, by the way. Continues his great start to the whole season. Nolan Smith might have had a defensive play of the game when he blew up Noah Gray on that 4th and 1. He blew that guy up.
Yep.
Ajomo, my boy, finally got home for his first sack. Jalen Hunt not doing too much early in the season. He did hit Mahomes to force an errant throw. Uche did notch a tackle of Pachenko for like a 1-yard gain. So those guys are doing all right, but nobody's standing out yet besides Zadarius Smith and Nolan Smith so far, which is a little concerning. Yeah. Byron Young, not the one we're going to see this weekend. Our Byron Young was the 4th defensive tackle in the rotation. Ty Robinson was active but didn't play any snaps.
Yeah.
A little worried about that. This is a guy that they 4th round. They were, everybody said what a great pick, kind of a steal of the draft. And he played okay in the preseason, had his ups and downs, but he might not be ready.
Be patient.
Be patient. I'm going to be patient. They love this guy, though. Linebacker.
A quick reminder.
Go ahead.
Milton Williams didn't see a field a lot his first year either.
And Milton Williams didn't do like the first 2 years. It was the 3rd and 4th years he really came on. So
Everybody had questions about that too. So just be patient.
Now, the other thing is, too, is Milton Williams was 22. Ty Robinson's 25.
I get it.
He ain't got 4 years to get ready, man. He's going to be getting old as dirt.
He only got to be good for one. We'll be like, all right, man, go ahead and get your money. Yeah.
Linebacker, pretty good stuff. Jahan Campbell, 7 tackles, 1 QB hit. He tackled your boy Travis Kelce right away.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff, but they were all over the field. Vaughn had 5 solo tackles and a pass breakup, and Campbell was just all over the field. Spent a lot of time with Kelce, which kind of shut him down a little bit in the second half. Campbell's, by the way, the only thing that was bad is Campbell's 3rd down blitz through the A gap was picked up, and Holmes found Kelce for 23 yards. So I don't know if Campbell picked the wrong side or just that was where he's supposed to go, but he's got to make sure he gets through on those kind of things when you're blitzing.
Yeah.
The secondary, Makuba had 6 tackles, by the way, overall. So it wasn't just one thing. He had 6 tackles, a half a sack, interception, at 1 pass breakup. Obviously had the biggest play of the game. Adoree Jackson, what did you think? I mean, it seemed like he kind of righted himself a little bit. It wasn't great, but I think he righted himself a little bit.
He didn't kill us.
Right.
But even that long pass, like it was like, dude, why is your body contorted that way? Like, granted, the guy didn't catch the ball, but he should have, especially the way he was positioned. He was not in a position to stop that guy at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, it's like don't become Jalen Mills.
It was like a pirouette dancer. He was kind of like this when he
don't become Jalen Mills, and then we'll be fine.
That's right. I mean, again, what he's talking about is there was a play in the I think it was the 3rd or 4th quarter where they threw down the sideline, and Adoree Jackson just happened to break it up by circumstance. He was turned the wrong way. He wasn't doing the right thing. It just happened to.
He was kind of like one of these type situations.
It was like funny by accident. It was almost like a PBU by accident. Quinyon Mitchell, I got to say, your boy was a little up and down. He was called for a holding penalty in the 2nd quarter, which offset a sack by Davis. That wasn't good. He did have a 4th quarter pass breakup that was negated by Campbell's personal foul, which, by the way, was a joke. He barely nipped the face mask of Mahomes, which would have been 4th down. That gave him new life. Sick and tired of that bullshit. He was in coverage, though, and we talked about this. He was in coverage when Thornton caught that 49-yard touchdown pass. But you're right. They said, based on the tape, it looks like Mitchell appeared to be looking for post-safety help that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So either Makuba or Blankenship was supposed to be there to help him, and nobody was there. So it is on him, but he was supposed to have help. So I give you that. It's a 50-50 thing.
That's what I said. When he was up the middle of the field, I'm like, why is he in the middle of the field? And then you see him coming to the frame. I'm like, that ain't his coverage. He's a cornerback. And he's in trail technique for a play like that.
Right.
But he wasn't that even the man. He was trailing because he's on the other side of the field.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean played well. By the way, he led the Eagles with 7 tackles. 7 tackles. Good for you, Coops. He was the closest in coverage on Kelsey's first catch of the game, which is a 16-yarder. So he was on Kelsey a lot. But he had some great open field tackles in the second quarter. And he dodged a block on a screen and made a stop. So he was doing pretty well. The Chiefs did go after rookie Drew Makuba, and he did have his challenges, but also saw him on. So he played nickel personnel again, just so you know. He chipped in on Smith's tackle for the loss. His blitz on third down resulted in a sack split with Smith. But Makuba did lose Kelsey in man coverage that resulted in an 18-yard catch and run. He was well behind him. And Kelsey made a move on him, so that's where he's got to get better. And obviously, another thing, too, he tried to tackle Mahomes, but he bounced off of him, and Mahomes ran for a first down. He didn't tackle him, so that was another bad one. But he rebounded and have a great game. Reed Blankenship, by the way, not much. Maybe that coverage was his thing, but Mahomes didn't have a lot other than that one deep shot for the touchdown. He didn't have a lot of deep shots.
No,
which I believe like Blankenship basically was locking that down. Special teams we talked about, and here's the other thing too. Elliott's now 6 for 7 in his career from 58 yards and out. 6 for 7 from his career. That's 86%. That's the highest in NFL history among kickers with more than 2 attempts of 58 yards or longer.
Yeah.
Elliott also made a 51-yarder in the third quarter, and so he already has made more than 2 50-yarders than he has had all last year. That's crazy.
He's back.
So, one more. Elliott is the first kicker ever with a 58-yarder in each of the first 2 games of a season.
Nice.
That's crazy too. And we'll get to, and speaking of that, I'm going to get to our trivia questions since we're halfway through. We're doing some new stuff tonight. So, in that vein of special teams, you ready for this? Brandon Mann's 70-yard punt in the first half was the longest by an Eagles punter since who? And what was that punt?
Randall Cunningham's.
Yarder. We've had a 70-yard punt since Randall Cunningham had a 90-yarder for sure. So it's what was the last time? So Brandon Mann had a 70-yard punt in the first half. When was the last time the Eagles had a 70-yard punt, and who was it by? You get that trivia. We've got a lot of prizes, ladies and gentlemen. So send in your stuff. Also, another trivia question you can get either one. The first interception by an Eagles rookie was by Makuba in their first 2 career games. Who was the last Eagles rookie to have an interception in his first 2 games? Jay is deep in thought for that one.
I can't think.
Yeah, you don't got no one. So we'll say that we'll give him more hints in the game. So let's get to now we got through all of that stuff. Let's get to our stats. We haven't done stats last time because it didn't make sense, but let's get to the stats for the Eagles. And by the way, folks, it ain't pretty on the offensive side. So Eagles right now, offense, they're 29th overall. You know who number 1 is?
Number 1 offense?
In the NFL right at the moment after 2 weeks?
It can't be Detroit because they was horrible the first week and then the
correct.
Second. Yeah. So,
who's the MVP of the league? Reigning MVP.
Oh shit. Josh Allen.
Yep. So Buffalo's number 1. We're 29th overall, ladies and gentlemen. We're 29th overall.
Yeah, but
passing, we are 31st in passing. We are 2 from the bottom.
Yeah.
Of course, we mentioned this earlier. The Giants, unbelievable, just because of pretty much one good game, are the number 1 passing offense in the NFL. As far as rushing offense, we are 7th in the NFL. So that's not good for us. Even though we haven't been doing great, that's still not bad. Can you guess who the number 1 offensive rushing team is in the NFL?
Number 1 rushing team, I think, is the Ravens.
That is incorrect. It's actually the Jacksonville Jaguars are number 1 in rushing. I know, it's weird.
It's only
that's right. It's only week 2, but it's still interesting to see even after 2 weeks. I mean, week 1 doesn't matter because it's just nuts. We are 16th in scoring at 22 points per game. Do you know who the number 1 offense in scoring per game is?
Number 1 in scoring would be, let me think who scored a lot both weeks.
It is not Buffalo.
No. Both weeks, top scorers. Would it be Detroit?
It is not Detroit.
Okay.
Who lost to Buffalo the first week?
Who lost to Buffalo the first week?
Who you have as one of your top 5 teams in the NFL?
The Ravens.
That is correct. The Ravens are the number 1 offensive team at 40 points a game.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in the first 2 weeks. Even the first 2 weeks, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Eagles' defensive stats. They are 9th overall. Do you know who the number 1 defensive team is in the NFL right now?
It's not Denver.
This is not Denver. In fact, Denver's not looking that great.
Nope.
I took them off my top 5 immediately.
Nope. Who played 2 horrible teams? The Ravens.
No, it is not. Remember, the Ravens gave up 40. It gave you up 43 to the Buffalo.
They played the first week. They played the Browns though. Number 1 defense this year.
You just said their name.
I didn't. Was it the Bills?
You said you lost to somebody, but you said the wrong team, but you said the right name.
No, you tell me.
The Browns are the number 1
defense. Number 1 defense.
191 yards per game they've given up so far in 2 games, averaging. That's crazy, man. That is crazy good.
Huh?
Eagles right now are 8th in passing defense. The number 1 passing defense is Buffalo, believe it or not.
Okay.
Even after the Ravens debacle.
It's all kind of like, but here's the thing. I can't, because it depends.
2 weeks, I know, but it's still interesting.
Yeah.
Eagles are 21st in rushing. The number 1 rushing defense is Cleveland at 45 yards a game. Wow. Cannot run on that defense.
Yeah.
It's a shame they have no offense, though. Eagles are also the 12th in scoring defense at 18.5 per game. By the way, they gave up 18 last year, so they're kind of right on target.
Right.
The number 1 scoring defense in the NFL, do you know who that might be?
No.
You just mentioned them that we're playing them in 2 weeks.
Tampa Bay?
No, 2 weeks. Not this week is Tampa.
The Giants?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're playing them this week. You're right. I'm sorry. We're playing
the Rams.
The Rams are the number 1 scoring defense.
Okay, all right. Okay.
14 points per game. That's not good.
All right.
All right. Let's get to our top 5. Let's get to our top 5 this week. And let's start. By the way, as always, we were going to review last week. So last week, my top 5 was Bills, Eagles, Packers, Chargers, Denver. What were yours?
Last week, my top 5 was.
And Bills made him insane.
It was Chargers, Green Bay, Ravens, Buffalo, and the Eagles.
Okay. And for purpose of tracking, ESPN had Bills, Eagles, Ravens, Packers, Chiefs. NFL had Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Packers, Chiefs. So now we get to this week's top 5. Give me your number 5.
My number 5 for this week is the Chargers.
Chargers, nice. My number 5 is the Rams.
Okay.
Number 4 for you.
The Ravens.
The Ravens. Okay, the Ravens. Number 4 for me is the Chargers. Number 3 for you.
The Bills.
The Bills, nice. For me, the number 3 is the Bills.
All right.
Number 2 for you.
Green Bay.
That is also my number 2, believe it or not. So that leaves number 1 is for what this is.
The 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles.
So I did switch it this week.
With the 29 ranked offense, don't give a damn. It's 2-0, baby.
29th ranked offense. All right. I did feel like, they deserve a little bit number 1 this week. A lot of people moved the Eagles down because of their victory. Even though their victory, they moved them down because of what's going on. But I had to agree with you this week, but that may change after the Rams game, even though how they play. We'll see how it goes.
Here's the thing. I'm going to stop you real quick. I'll be honest with you. If we play the Rams and we beat the Rams 13-6, right? And it's another yawner. I'm like, this is who the team is, y'all. This is what we got.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
It ain't no need to fight it. You ain't got to be like, we got the number 1. We don't have that. We got, you come to play us. Y'all gonna look the worst y'all looked all year, and we're gonna win the game. That's just what it's gonna be.
I can't argue with that, man. Hey, you might be married. He might be ugly, she might be ugly, but you know what? It works.
Yeah.
You might both be ugly.
Yeah.
Just so you know, for the ESPN and NFL, what they have for this week, ESPN has Bills, Eagles, Packers, Ravens, Lions. So they have 2 teams on that I don't even have.
Mm-hmm.
NFL has Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Packers, Tampa as number 5. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tampa won.
Yeah, but you know what's happening? You know what's wrong with
And off of a good coaching move, they let the Texans score so that they have enough time to go down and score.
Yep. And
And
by the way,
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, by the way, they also have a ton of injuries, and they are going to be banged up even for our game in 2 weeks.
good.
I don't know if you know about this about Tampa, but let me get to this here. Tampa, one of their starting cornerbacks is out for the next couple of weeks. Their best defensive tackle, that Kalaji Cansey, he tore his pec last night. He's out for the season. Their starting right tackle was one of their best. I mean, Wirfs is one of the best left tackles in the league, but their right tackle is pretty damn good too. He's out for at least 2 to 3 games. And they still don't have Chris Godwin until another 4 more games. So they're barely banged up.
Yeah, so we'll see what their excuse is. Then when we're like, oh, y'all missing players, huh? Oh, okay.
All right, let's get to our game preview of the Rams versus Eagles. Last time the Eagles faced the Rams in the divisional round, the offense struggled mightily against their blitz. Pro Football Focus, the Rams blitz on Hurts on almost 44% of his dropbacks. So it's not 64%, but it's a lot. Hurts was sacked 5 times on those blitzes, by the way. So they brought it to us. They're a guy that you were talking about, Byron Young. We have a Byron Young too, but they have a Byron Young. He's a tremendous start, his 3rd NFL season. In 2 games, he has notched 3 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. Jared Verse, by the way, who's the rookie of the year in 2024, also no slouch, but he has not had any sacks this year.
Right.
So Young is off to a better start, but I believe it's because Jared Verse is taking all the double teams and leaving him wide open. So I think they're taking advantage of it. For all those who don't know, Rams have added 32-year-old Devontae Adams, who didn't play a great first game, but then last game he was 6 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. So he is still a threat. If you're asking, wow, they have Puka Nacua and Adams and Kupp. No, they don't have Kupp anymore. He is now with the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
But they still have Nacua and they still have Adams, so it's going to be tough. And you also have Sean McVay. You have Matthew Stafford. Stafford did throw in the wins against Houston Texans and Tennessee Titans. He threw for 29 and 33 times, so he's throwing a lot. So they're not running too well. So that might be the one thing. So the one spot of concern of the Rams is the offensive line, which they allowed 4 sacks and 22 quarterback pressures through 2 weeks. So the offensive line is not great. And
that makes me feel good.
Yeah, so Stafford has been pressured on 33% of his dropbacks, which is above the NFL average. So, but he does get the ball out in about 2.5 seconds. So that's kind of mitigates that whole thing. So, and by the way, one of their starting cornerbacks suffered a broken clavicle on Sunday, so he is out. Their collusion of Williams, Forbes, and Durant, they're going to struggle mightily against A.J. Brown-Smith because they are not good cornerbacks. So they lost their best cornerback with a clavicle injury. So that should open things up a little bit for us.
All right.
The run defense was terrible a year ago, 24th in the NFL. Through 2 weeks, they've lowered that to they're only allowing 4.2 yards a rush and only about 111 yards a game now versus 130 last year.
Well, they haven't played against Saquon yet.
They have not, which is correct. So with that all being said, how do you see the Eagles-Rams shaking out for this game?
I think our defense is another highlight this week, but I think our offense comes to play.
So what's your final score?
Eagles 30, Rams 17.
I think the Eagles will able to mitigate that pass rush, and the secondary is weak. So I think they open up a little this week. I think you see some different creative stuff. I think you're going to throw a lot of throwing early. I would like to see 31-21. I still think Stafford I think the offense still get their business going. I think because you have Nacua and Adams, you're not going to be able to cover both. I don't know if Dory Jackson's up for that. So I think it's going to be a 31-21 game, but I think the Eagles come out winners. Yeah. So there's our prediction. By the way, just some quick notes and updates. The Eagles released Gabe Hall, and they had to do that to get a couple of new guys like Jazarius Smith on the roster. but Gabe Hall is now back on the practice squad, so that's good. Brandon Mann is off to a hot start in this year. He had 3 punts for 146 yards for an average of 48.7 in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
He also had 2 non-returnable punts inside the 20-yard line against the most dangerous tournament in the NFL, so that was great. By the way, this is a crazy thing. You ready for this? Here are some names that, as of August 1st, these guys were not on the roster. Jacorian Bennett, John Mechie, Sam Howell, Fred Johnson, Willie Lampkin, Britton Covey, Marcus Epps, Zadarius Smith, and Tank Bigsby. That's a pretty good chunk of the roster and a pretty good, contributing aspect of the roster that was not there August 1st. That's crazy.
Yeah. And Tank Bigsby didn't play last week. So what was up with that?
Okay, so I meant to tell you that. So Tank Bigsby did appear on 4 kickoffs. All the kickoffs, he was there. It just always went to the other guy.
Okay, gotcha.
So he was there. He just didn't return anything.
Okay, gotcha.
They said they're going to try and get him more involved, but I think they were kind of waiting for him to get a little bit more involved in more practices.
Gotcha.
By the way, Jalen Hurts has a higher career completion session than 28 of 30 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Hurts has raised his career average to 64.8%. The only Hall of Famers above 64% are Kurt Warner and Peyton Manning. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
So all the Hall of Famers, you think of Joe Montana and all those guys, only 2 are above Jalen Hurts right now. And by the way, Jalen Hurts since 2023 is throwing at 68% completion of his passes.
Yeah, I want people to keep talking. So I can go to the line of scrimmage like he did and say, "Shut your ass up."
By the way, winning percentage since 2022, QB winning percentage. Lamar Jackson at 717, Josh Allen at 745, Patrick Mahomes at 780. Guess who's at 79.2%? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles can become, and they did become the second quarterback to team to beat Patrick Mahomes. That was Joe Burrow. By the way, Philadelphia is tied with Kansas City for highest interconference winning percentage at 8-10, 17-4 in the NFL since 2021. By the way, Nick Sirianni owns a 50-20 career record, surpassing George Allen for second best winning percentage by a head coach in the Super Bowl era. Guess who he trails? He only trails one person now all time, and it's not Belichick, which is crazy too. Remember, Belichick had some bad seasons.
Bill Seifert.
Who was the guy who hated to fly?
John Madden.
That is correct. John Madden, 759 all time, which I don't know if that will ever be overtaken, even by Sirianni. So there you go. And by the way, Philadelphia won 16 consecutive games started and finished by Jalen Hurts. 16 consecutive wins.
Consecutive. That's the part right there.
But he has started and finished. That's the other big part about it. By the way, Sirianni is now the 7th head coach in NFL history to reach 50 career wins in 70 games or less, joining Paul Brown, George Seifert, Guy Chamberlain, Chuck Knox, Vince Lombardi, and Don Shula. I mean, this guy, 50 wins in his first 70 games. You're talking about guys like Seifert, Knox, Lombardi, Shula. That's just an incredible group to be tied into.
Right.
All right. We are pretty much down to the end here, folks. You've got all our predictions. And let me do the trivia questions one last time. So again, with our trivia questions, we need you to be signed in to all of our social media, the X, the Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube. And if you're inside all of those things, if you win the trivia, we have a whole slew at BroadStreetMisery.com. We have a whole merch store that you can pick out what you like. We got hoodies, we got T-shirts, we got all kinds of great stuff. So here we go with your trivia this evening again. Brandon Mann, 70-yard punt in the first half was the longest by an Eagles punter since who? Who was the last to have a 70-yard punt? And how far was it? That's your first one. The second one was the Makuba, who we both agree was the player of the game.
Right.
He is an Eagles rookie, and he had an interception in his first 2 games. Who is the most recent rookie, to have an interception in his first 2 games? Who was it and what year? If you got all that, come on in. We want to hear from you. We want to know about it. So, real fast, as an overall NFL before we get out of here. Give me your top 3 surprises in the NFL this year, whether it's a person, a team, anything.
The Kansas City started out as bad as they did. That's a surprise. Number 2 would be that Denver doesn't look as good as the hype was for them.
I love that one. I love the first 2 ones. Yep.
They like everybody. I mean, I was thinking like, yeah, they might win the division and shit like that. Now I'm like, they the same damn team they always been. And I guess the last one for me would be that Washington is not as good as I thought they would probably be. I know I was shitting on them early and wasn't even putting them in the top thing, but I was saying that out of just spite, but I really thought they would be a little bit more competitive. Green Bay doesn't scare me, but I really thought Washington was going to be like one of those teams to be able to like compete. But right now you're looking at 3 teams right now that look decent.
That's good. I like all the
in the NFC, that is, yeah.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. Number 1, that Kansas City, I can't believe, is 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I can't believe Barkley is not in the top 5 of rushing,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's early in the season. That's really surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a tie between these 2 because I always thought that this was pretty wild. Is that everybody talked about how Chicago was going to be the surprise team. They're 0-2.
Yeah.
But to me, the biggest surprise, Daniel Jones. Honestly, Daniel Jones, the fact that he has come on as well as he's done with Shane Steichen, that they picked him early on over the guy you picked 2nd overall in the draft.
Richard, yeah, yep.
I mean, when I think when Richardson took himself last year, when he took himself out of the game, remember that?
Yeah.
I think that basically ended his career.
I don't know if that did. Everybody makes a big deal about that.
What would you? Now, here's a question: you're on a team. He takes himself out. How do you react to that?
But it's a rookie mistake when I look at it. It's like he doesn't know any better. He knows not to take a timeout, right?
Right.
He was gassed. Like he didn't know what to do. Like they're calling him the pass play. He doesn't have his wind. He's like, I guess I got to do this. I don't know. Like it's like when Plaxico Burress first got his first pass and he got the ball and just slammed it down on the ground. I'm like, dude, you got to get tackled. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was a dumb move, but I don't think that was the reason. I think they got in the camp. They saw some things from Daniel Jones. They saw some things from him. He's got more development to do. Remember, he lost half the year because he got injured.
True.
His first year, and he still runs too much. It's like first read, head down, run. You got to get out of that. So I don't know. I don't think he goes back and plays for them unless Daniel Jones gets hurt. But I think he'll end up going to another team and actually being okay for them.
Okay. Yeah, I think he definitely needs his fresh start. Another real surprise, by the way, is that Russell Wilson is leading the NFL in passing. That's just another one.
That won't last long. We already know that ain't gonna last long.
It ain't gonna last. But there's already internal strife between the left tackle for the Giants going nuts and then Malik Neighbors going nuts the first couple of games because he wasn't getting enough stuff.
Yeah.
There's already drama over there, so that's pretty bad. All right, we're at the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Fly Eagles Fly podcast. As always, we bring you insights. We give you grades. We give you our 4 points. We give you all the good stuff of the game. We also give you a preview of the next game. We also talk about the NFL in general, which we just did. So we got you all covered with everything NFL as we do this every week at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. So for the Broad Street Miser Network, and we are Fly Eagles Fly podcast. Please catch us on Spotify, Apple Tunes, X, Facebook, Instagram. We're also on TikTok and YouTube. And as always, I'm Corey Alexander with
Jay Bliss.
And we will see you every week. Thank you for tuning in. Fly Eagles Fly, baby.
Fly Eagles Fly.